I think AI is a really powerful tool for us, and the only limitation is based on how well you can ask the question. It will make people lazy if they only think on the surface level. If you are actually really good and really dedicated to what you're trying to do, it'll make you even better because you have to ask a way deeper question. So you have to go not just a mile wide, you actually have to go a mile deep in order to get the outcome that you want. Hi guys, so today I want to talk to you about why as a healthcare entrepreneur, we need to be using AI, especially ChatGPT, the 4.0 edition now. And some of you guys already heard about it and, are curious about it, but have not taken any action yet. And if anything, I want this video to be some of the reason that I say to myself to convince myself to start using it. And I use the exact same thing to convince my team to also use AI, especially ChatGPT, to help us leverage to get our time back. A little background on this. So I was watching a stand-up comedy show with Jim Jeffries, who's a really funny stand-up comic. And he was talking about how in the beginning, wheels were one of the first inventions that mankind did. But it took almost like till the 1970s for the patent to put wheels on suitcase to come about. So imagine this whole time of people traveling to airports and stuff, and people would have to carry their suitcases rather than wheeling it to the airport like what we're doing now. That's how I feel about using AI. It's like AI is like this wheel that we just have, but if we're not using it, we're just not using the wheel to its own capability, right? So here are 3 ways that I use ChatGPT on my every single day of how I operate my practice and how I actually use it to scale my time back, how I tell my team to use it to scale and get their time back. So number 1, I use it as a resource, as a place where I can do research, right? Back then, I used to just go on Wikipedia to find stuff out. I would go on Google, I would go on YouTube to find all these things. Now I just go on ChatGPT and I ask them the question of what I need to know. For example, let's say if I have a down month, and because of spring break or whatever reason, rather than me panicking and reaching out to all these people, hey, how's your business doing? Hey, how's your clinic going? Do you have evals, this and that? I just go on ChatGPT and say, historically speaking, in physical therapy space, when it comes to the month of April, what are the projected trends compared to the rest of the year? Based on that, it would tell me, hey, within the past 10 years, here's a trend on the month of April. If I look at the trend and I see that April is a slow month for our field, I'm not going to freak out. Now I can actually use that time to not freak out and figure out, hey, it's part of the trend. How do we focus on moving better next month? What do we need to do to make sure we move better next month? And in the future, what I would do is I would use it to forecast the trend to say, hey, by the way, in 2 months, it's going to be a lot of downtime. What can we do to make sure that those downtime is not as bad as the trend normally suggests, right? So that's the first thing that I use. I use it as a tool to do research. The second thing is I use it to help me with my marketing message. So, you guys know that we're really big into giving out value, but especially with blog, with Instagram posts, with email, etc. So in the past, it would be really hard to write a blog, especially for me, because you guys know English is not my first language. So for me to write a blog where it might take you guys an hour, it actually take me 3 or 4 because, I have to go gather all the information. So I would just go on ChatGPT and say, hey, I would like to write a blog about this topic. Can you tell me some basic information about this, right? And then that would then give me a bullet point. Based on those bullet points, I can copy and paste and say, please expand on this bullet point and write it for someone that is a parent of an athlete who's dealing with this injury, right? Write it in a 5th grade reading level. Right? So I can use that to help me create a skeleton of what my blog should be. But what I don't recommend is to use that and copy and paste it and put it on your website because it will make you sound so inauthentic. And when people come in, it's going to be a lot of incongruency with your message that you're putting out versus how you are in person. So I always say, make sure your voice is in the article. But most of the time, I use that to help me create a skeleton of what I need to write in a bullet point form. And you know what? Most of the time, I'm thinking about writing this thing, and I completely miss a whole element. And ChatGPT is able to help me remind me and my staff to say hey, don't forget to talk about this because this is pretty important. I'm like, great, thanks, ChatGPT. And lastly, we really use it to even help create, scorecards, which what we do to, keep our employee accountable, but also job ads as well, right? These are things that, so far, like that's a huge thing. Like writing job ads it's pretty hard, especially when you're new at it, because you know what to say, the compensation package and all of that stuff. And doing scorecards, writing out like what KPIs each role should be responsible for. If you have never hired anyone, it's your first employee, how would you know what KPIs they'll be keeping track of, right? So you can ask ChatGPT, it's like, hey, if I were to hire a marketing coordinator, what KPIs should they be tracking? And they will give you like 10 KPIs, but you can just go based on the things that you think are necessary right now, right? So for me, it's like, hey, the number of leads generated, right? The number of leads coming in, the number of conversion, right? Those are very important, but you can always expand on that. It's a place for you to start rather than just starting out completely blind and have no idea what you're doing. I think AI is a really powerful tool for us to, rather than reinventing the wheel, we can just go based on what's there right now. I think it's Wikipedia and YouTube on steroids in some way. And the only limitation is based on how well you can ask the question. And the counter argument to this is that, well, it's gonna make people lazy, etc. Yes, it will make people lazy if they only think on the surface level, right? If you are actually really good and really dedicated to what you're trying to do, it'll make you even better because you have to ask a way deeper question. So you have to go not just a mile wide, you actually have to go a mile deep in order to get the outcome that you want. So make sure you think about this. I hope I convinced you within this past 5 minutes that why it's important for us as healthcare entrepreneurs to utilize a tool like AI, like ChatGPT, to actually get our time back, right? Do not take pride on the fact that you're busy all the time. Being busy is not being productive. So what I want you guys to think about is like, how do I become productive? Being productive means doing less and getting more of the result and the outcome you're looking for. Being busy is just being busy. It's mean that I'm just spinning my wheels and the outcome I'm doing the same. So let's get into that mindset. Use the tool that we have. If you guys enjoy this, please subscribe, like, share the video. Also, I have an AI book coming out and there's a sign up for it. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys really enjoy that because I'm a huge fan. So till next time.